Now moving on to the MVP, where we saw 6 players record perfect games. One of them was Nazaya Wanganeen-Miller, Tom Stewart, Christian Petrarca, Tom Papley, Luke Jackson and Zach Butters. Impressive performances from those 6. It's pretty hard not to give them the maximum votes.
Yeah.
So we'll just start with them and maybe unpack, I guess, how they achieved such a high feat.
Yeah, it's certainly shaking up the leaderboard a little bit. Obviously, we're very early into the season. And Wanganeen-Miller was, very impressive. I didn't know if it was going to be a unanimous best on, but I think it's probably an easy pick for 5 votes for me. Very clean off the defensive 50 and even providing a fair bit further up the ground. Tom Stewart, electric. And
milestone match too.
Certainly added to the occasion. Graham Minor certainly would have ran close to getting a 5-vote game from me as well. Petrarca solid. Papley was, again, the Swans are very level. Like we've seen that for the first 3 weeks. I think Heaney even came through with a few votes. And Jackson and Butters, really dominant in 2 very strong wins. So it's certainly added a little bit to our top 10. But yeah, it's probably could have had a couple more. I think Tom Green might have ran pretty close to getting a 20 as well. So there's a fair bit with 2.5 runs in, I guess you can call it. And a couple of clubs have played more than others, but it's a very tight leaderboard at the top.
Yeah, well, looking at that leaderboard, Tom Green has taken the reign as, I guess, the leader from Isaac Heaney, who put together 2 perfect games, but I wouldn't say he was just off his mark in round 2 against the Bombers at the SCG, but as we've established, there's probably a few players ahead of him that we thought anyway. Then you got Matt Rowell, who was the only player, I think, from the top 10 of our leaderboard after round 1, also including opening round's performance, that he actually didn't record or register a single vote in the loss to the Bulldogs. Zach Butters, he's only played 2 games, yet he's shot up to 4th. Then you got Caleb Sarong and Luke Jackson, who have been pretty consistent. Obviously, Caleb Sarong's round 1 performance for the Dockers against the Lions was out of this world, and he backed that up against the Kangaroos. Ruckman Max Gawn from the D's, he's proven to be, again, probably up there and still being the best ruckman in the competition. He's been, I think, a 5 or 6-time All-Australian. He's probably looking to add to that. Tuke Miller from the Suns and Christian Petrarca round out that top 10 with Chad Warner as well, who's been pretty impressive in the early weeks of the 2024 season.
Yeah, there's a few double-ups as well. Like Sydney have 2, as you mentioned, Heaney and Warner. Demons have 2 in Gawn and Petrarca. But yeah, Freo having Sarong and Jackson at 5 and 6 with just the 2 games under their belts is a pretty good effort. And as you mentioned, Zach Butters as well didn't feature in opening round and is right in the mix. So him and Sarong and Green, some really strong starts. As you mentioned, Round couldn't quite hold on to his lead, and Heaney and Green just really added to strong seasons. I think both of those guys have polled in all 3 games they've played in. So Green having 49 of a possible 60 and Heaney only behind him on 1 vote says a lot about how those 2 have started the season.
And I think it's also a testament to where this game is going and who's going to be, I guess, taking the lead as the poster boys of the competition. I guess we've seen the last few years, the Nick Dacos is also, he burst onto the scene, be it Tom Green, Caleb Sarongs, Chad Warner, I guess Isaac Heaney, who's still probably entering his prime, same as Christian Petrarca, really start to, I guess, take the mantle from, the Fyfes, the Pendleburys, the Martins, and a few others as well. And probably the Lachie Neale, despite him winning the Brownlow last year. But it's good to see that the game has a lot of competition for maybe the best midfielders, the best players. And it seems like a lot of the 22, 23-year-olds who were, I guess, drafted when they were 18, 19 ready, it's good to see, 4 or 5 years down the track that they're, taking the mantle as maybe number 1 or number 2 player in the competition, which is just a great sight to see for AFL lovers all around. So it's good to see.
For sure.